Hi. Hi, guys. I am here. Good morning. I have my coffee. How is everybody? Hi, Flower Girl, Chocolate and Ashes, Mandy, Gigi, to Scooter. Hi, Scoot. I know I've got a sworn I've just seen you, Scoot. Yes. So we're going to talk about LaTania Janell Carwell. I'm going to just pop that up so you can see this beautiful face of this girl. What a beautiful girl. Right, okay. Ooh, that's interesting. Wasn't that trippy? When you put it like the screen that's sharing the screen on the screen, it makes lots of little screens. Like something from the Twilight Zone. Bizarre. Morning. Good morning. Right. Okay. So we're going to talk about LaTania Janell Carwell. And this is a case that Bella Mack was nice enough to bring to my attention. And I just saw her little face and there was something about her. And I just thought she looks like the most wonderful little girl. And she was taken from us far too soon. And the story behind it is really sad and it's still ongoing. We still don't have a conclusion. I just hope that she gets justice. So she was 16 years old. She just turned 16. It was her 16th birthday in February 2007. She went out with her, for some reason she went out. Her father claimed that a friend of theirs, Maurice, had car trouble. So he allegedly takes LaTania out at 1:30 in the morning on a school night, and neither of them return. And he comes back weeks later and says he doesn't know where she is, that he put her on a train back home. And, you know, it takes some time to find out what's going on. So our father is called Leon TRIPP. And our mother is Tanya, I believe. Let's have a look at them. So that's a little bit of a social media. Okay. Okay. Just gonna have to. Nothing's working now. Right, okay. We'll just do it this way. It's easier. Because I did put all the documents into this one here. So I do not know why it's not cooperating. There we go, that's better. Okay. So, hiya, Snow Remover. Sorry. Oh, it's early hours. Sorry, Snow. I know you've been busy at work lately as well. All right, so he was seen going shopping without her. He was at a Stop and Shop and he went shopping without her after she went missing. And our mother says she just went out with her dad to help him find this dude, even though the investigators say there is no truth in that. But I believe it is. And when they come home, they are going to tell that too. So this is the mother saying that, you know, the other half's done nothing wrong, even though he comes back mysteriously without their daughter. Very strange. So doing a bit of research on this dude, he is seriously bad news. He has multiple previous offences, including for aggravated assault, theft by taking, aggravated stalking, and he'd previously been sentenced to 20 years in prison for that. Tanya met him when he was in prison. Choking, if that's the case, all I can suggest is coming back out and coming back in again, sweetheart. Sorry. Right. So he was seriously bad news. He had several sort of charges and he'd spent proper time in prison. So looking through the web sleuth pages of the time and also news articles and things like that, law enforcement felt that there had been a reasonable belief that an abduction had occurred. But they have sort of a different Amber Alert system out there. It's called a Levi's call, and it's about the they must think there's in risk of imminent danger or serious death or blah 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 blah, serious bodily injury, harm, serious death. There is no other kind, Kaz. Sorry, I'm yet to consume my first cup of coffee. So the uncle, LaTania's uncle, was incredibly supportive of her throughout this campaign. Also, there was a pastor in the local area, and he was amazing as well, and they never gave up on her, despite the carryings on of her parents. Our uncle had said it's almost as if it was premeditated, because this girl goes missing on her 16th birthday, and how she was brought out the house doesn't sit well with me. So yes, absolutely, because it's very strange. I agree. So ultimately what they do is they charge him with kidnapping of LaTania, probably so they can get him in a room where they can talk to him and question him and try and find out what on earth happened to her. And LaTania's mother sides with him in a respect and says she doesn't know, he doesn't know what happened. He's got nothing to do with it. This pastor in the local area, what he does is he puts out a billboard and with LaTania's face on it, and never gives up the search for her. There was some talk of perhaps she'd been trafficked, she'd been sold to this Maurice, whoever he was, that they were allegedly meeting. And then in March, some possible human remains were found at the 2200 block of Golden Camp Road. And they found it was a case of homicide. Not only that, but she had been bound and treated in the most awful way. And then they charged him. But to be honest, they had him in custody a long time before he admitted what he'd done. So this is, bless her little face, man. And Leon and Tanya. And this is when the police searched her house. She had just been evicted at the time, though. And there's the police tape with the crime scene. So the way this stands at the moment, there's my pussycats. The way this stands at the moment is both parents have been charged with murder, and we are awaiting more news of what happened to her. And when the case comes, I hope they televise it, because there's really so much more I want to know about what poor LaTania went through. She was a beautiful girl, and she had all of her life ahead of her, and they took that away from her, and I don't know why. The mum doesn't know that the mother claimed to have cancer and then started a GoFundMe, but the information that she gave was likely not accurate, which really hits me in the I want to punch somebody in the face button. She claimed to have this, that, and the other, but did not. So this is hit like for cats, bats. Bad Park. So yes, it was a really sad case, and I just thought I would share it with you. There is plenty of information on it. If you have a Google, there's lots of information on it, and she, we're still waiting for justice for her. There is a Facebook group you can join as well, that will hopefully, give you more information, and if there's any updates, I'll give you the link, assuming you use Facebook. Let's have a look. Do be sensitive and make sure that you read the pinned post on this Facebook group and do everything that admins need you to, because there are family members in there and friends. So, and this is where any news will pop up. I invited people to speak about it, and you know, there are comments about saying people, why aren't anything being done to the people who killed her? When are the public going to know everything that happened? She deserved better than this. I really agree she did, but I'm assuming they're keeping it quiet until they come to a place where they can actually fully prosecute these two individuals and make it stick. So that's the Facebook group. So I'm hoping that it'll not be too long before we hear news about what the prosecution is going to be. So no, she's not missing. She was missing. And then they arrested him on kidnapping, and then he admitted she was dead, but wouldn't tell them where she was. So it took a long process. Yeah, money was coming in. Yeah, money was coming in. You know, it was like the opportunity was taken to make money, which is a bit sad. You know, I would be more worried about where my daughter is, but she's like, oh, my daughter's fine. He hasn't done anything wrong. He came back without her and he doesn't know where she is, but everything's fine. Don't worry about it. One of the charges against her is, you know, sort of hindering of an investigation. Let's see if we can... Tanya Tripp goes before the judge. Let's just share this here. These are news reports, so this should be okay to show. Fingers crossed.
Tripp will appear for a bond hearing for the charge of concealing the death of her daughter, LaTania Janell Carwell. Tripp was previously denied bond on the charge of hindering the apprehension of a criminal. Her husband, Leon Tripp, is charged with the murder of the teen, though her body has never been found.
So that was back when she'd never been found. You know, so it was, you know, you can see the progress of the case throughout, only we don't get, like, the updates just seem to stop. The nearer you get to now, it just seem to stop altogether. So, and we've also got some footage of his ex-wife speaking about him, apparently. So let's have a look at this.
This coverage you can count on continues with Leon Tripp's first court appearance in Richmond County. A judge denied bond for the man accused of kidnapping his stepdaughter, calling him a flight risk and danger to the community. The district attorney there says 16-year-old LaTania Carwell is either presumed dead or unable to communicate now.
Meanwhile, the questions surround Leon Tripp and his past, specifically what landed him in an Atlanta jail to serve some serious time. News Channel 6's Renetta Dubose digging deeper into Leon Tripp's past and speaking exclusively to Tripp's ex-wife and the mother of his children.
Jenny, Makeda Kay and I spoke earlier today to find out more about this man accused of kidnapping LaTania Carwell over 6 weeks ago. Makeda tells me that during her time married to Tripp between 2003 and 2009, he had some serious problems, mainly after drinking alcohol. But she doesn't believe he would have killed LaTania.
I think it was out of character for him to take the daughter. Him leaving, no.
The ex-wife of Leon Tripp came forward to share her experience with a man who now wears an orange jumpsuit in the disappearance of LaTania Carwell. Makeda Kay tells me Leon had a scheduled child support hearing in Augusta the week the two left their Terrace Manor home.
I don't think he's going to court because they've been missing.
LaTania Carwell was presumed missing with her stepfather when Kay heard the news of the disappearance of the 16-year-old. Since she was expecting him to appear in court that week, she says she inquired about his home life with Tanya Tripp in case he was given a chance to take his two daughters into his home.
Especially with our oldest child. He would never go off and get her or nothing like that. He would just go off on his own if he was to go off.
Kay released this statement to a hungry group of concerned citizens across the country who all want LaTania found safely. She stated she warned Tanya Tripp about her husband before they married and even wrote letters to prevent his release from prison. She even says she helped law enforcement as much as she could in the search for LaTania. Now, in an exclusive interview, she tells us the Leon she married in 2003 was a church-going family man who was a good mechanic.
And then when you drink, he's definitely a little more abusive. He reflects back he was younger, his interpretation of what he felt like was wrong, you know, when he was coming up, what he didn't have, just being a victim a lot of times, and it would make him angry, and it would come out more when he was drinking.
Kay says Tripp broke into the children's room in an apartment she lived in with her daughters when she left him, and that's where the cruelty to children charge came from. She says she does not think her ex-husband killed LaTania or sold her into the human trafficking industry. And he stayed in the Oakland City area of Atlanta all of his life. So she thinks LaTania is close to his home.
He's not a person who explores past Georgia or Oakland City area. So I just don't see them going anywhere else where she would be somewhere far.
All right. So let's just ponder on this for a moment. Okay. So this ex-wife is going, oh, I don't think you would kill her. And this was during the time when they were looking for LaTania. And how wrong was she? Not only was she killed, she was also tied up. You know, she had been killed in the most awful way. But she does acknowledge that he had a problem with drinking and it would change who he was. So it could be that that's been the deciding factor, especially given that this was 1:30 in the morning. It doesn't justify anything at all. But it does give us an insight into the kind of life and the kind of household that they were living. So let's hear from Tanya.
Well, good evening to you, everyone. I'm Kimberly Scott. Brad and Jenny have the night off. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We begin with coverage you can count on with the development. She is also in Atlanta jail in connection with her daughter's disappearance. News Channel 6's Renetta DuBose following the story from the very beginning, joining us live at the news desk.
Is that the same journalist?
LaTania Carwell is still.
He was caught in Atlanta. She would be in the Atlanta area also. I wouldn't think.
And that's at Uncle Charles.
Stay away like that. I mean, that would make no sense. It's possible, but unlike that.
This gentleman was a huge advocate for LaTania. And pointed out how suspicious the circumstances were.
Tanya Tripp kept her story the entire time, telling News Channel 6 on multiple occasions that her daughter left with her husband to help a man with car trouble in South Carolina. She says LaTania often called Janell by family, helped her stepdad with cell phone GPS. The two never returned. Now investigators are charging Tanya Tripp with her connection to her husband, who was a fugitive, wanted for kidnapping. All Charles Carwell wants is his niece found.
All signs point back to him. I mean, she didn't take him. She can't force him to do anything. So not sure really how he got her to go with him or whatever the story may be, but definitely it's his influence getting her to leave the house.
Charles Carwell says the family is still offering a reward for the location.
So there you go. There's the uncle speaking out as well. So, and he's basically saying, there's something suspicious here. She didn't do this. This is on him. And he was right. Absolutely right. So that is the case of LaTania. I will let you know if there's any updates. I have posted on social media to invite people to come and speak about LaTania if they'd wish, just to keep our case in the open, so that we all know who she is. And if the case is televised, I will cover it, because I want to know what happened to this girl who had her whole life ahead of her that was just taken away. So much promise and just push because of one or two terrible people who clearly didn't care that much about her. But luckily our uncle did, and our community did, law enforcement did. And because of that, they've never let it go. So, but we're just waiting for the wheels of legal to turn. So if anybody has any further information on the case, or they want to contribute in any way, please get in touch, and I will happily we'll have a chat about it. Not a problem. Maybe the ex couldn't face it. That's possible, choking. Yeah, Jenny D, she didn't seem too happy. I think people do get cheesed off about the way the world is going. It does seem like, I think it's because we've got social media, but it does seem like there's a lot of young people losing their lives. And I mean, Janell's case was a couple of years ago and is still to come to fruition. She's still yet to get justice. Thank you, Snow. I will as well, because I want to know. I would like to see this case and see what happened to her and what the evidence is. And, you know, I want her to get justice for what was done to her. Yeah, me too, Mandy. Absolutely, absolutely. It's such a shame. So anyway, I am tired because I was on with Loopy Lisa at daft o'clock this morning, just randomly. I don't know why I did that. You know, when you wake up and you go, like, you turn up and you're like, dozily look at your phone through one eye like this. That's what I did, and I saw she was on. I thought, hey, you know what? I could click that link and go on there, and I did. I wasn't on too long, but I was. So I have the Witch's Brew cup today because my little cup, my favourite one, just doesn't contain enough coffee for my liking. It's Saturday morning, people. You know what I'm saying. You're very welcome, Joke, and I'll keep it coming. So there will be more information tomorrow on the door campaign, which I believe is going to be called Remember Me. And I will be in touch then. So, or maybe even later today, but I can't promise, because I do have other things that I need to do, because it's the weekend, and of course when you're working you need to get, even when just your days off, you need to get everything done on your days off, otherwise you just don't get it done. So so I am going to go and start with things and hopefully get it all done so I can be back later. All right. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. For those of you watching the replay, please leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think, and you know, and how you feel about the case. All right. Lots of love. Stay awesome. Be safe. Bye-bye now.